Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Moment. This is a special bonus hot minute. I'm your host, Meredith Lynch, and I'm joined by my friend Meredith Constant, another Meredith, and we're here to talk. We're here to do a little pop culture. We do a lot of news on Tuesdays and Fridays, and so we want to bring you guys a little bit of pop culture on Wednesdays. And there's literally no one better to talk about pop culture with than Meredith Constant. She is a royal media commentator and co-host of one of my favorite podcasts, Off with Their Headlines. She also has a popular Substack, Pulling Threads with Meredith Constant, where she's currently breaking down what Prince William's future reign might look like. Spoiler alert, not great for transparency. Meredith's been on CNN, she's contributed to Fox Digital, and her royals research has been cited in the best-selling New York Times book, Endgame by Omid Scobie. Meredith Constant, welcome to Hot Minute.
Hello. It has been a hot minute. So I was very excited that you scheduled this time for us to hang out because we haven't had a good catch up in a while. So we obviously need to do it via podcasting.
I know, that's the thing. You and I are friends in the internet, friends in real life. We've gotten to spend time together. And I do feel a certain affinity to a fellow Meredith.
You have to. I was telling your producer before we got on that one Meredith is like three Merediths. So this is a lot of energy when you have all the Merediths.
Well, it's so funny because there's another Meredith who's coordinating coming on the show for later this week. So Vienna's like, I'm emailing with three Merediths. Like, I cannot
It's
handle
too
this.
much. Someone changed their name.
Okay, I do have to ask you if you could sum up what you think Prince William's reign is going to be like in one word. What would it be and why?
Draconian. And the
Woo!
reason the good word, right? And the
Yeah.
reason I think that is because of what we're seeing already in terms of his relationship with the media and how he is less transparent about finances around his duchy, which is private income that you can just decide if you want to pay taxes and you don't have to disclose them, which must be fun to be rich and entitled. But he's even less transparent than his father is around his personal finances. So I actually think it's going to get a lot worse in terms of transparency with media and finance.
Okay, here's a question for you. How soon is Prince William going to be king?
Oh my gosh, you're trying to get me in so much trouble. Listen, there have been rumors in royal circles for quite some time that things are not looking great for Charles. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a coronation within the next few years.
Okay. You know, I have mixed feelings on Charles. I really do. Like I know a lot of people like loathe him for the Diana of it all. I don't really loathe him for that. Like, I don't know if that's too hot of a take. I think there's other things I dislike about him, but I will give him this. And I don't know if it's a broken clock is right twice a day. He does fucking love the environment.
He does love the environment, although, and one day I'll have to tell you about this. He did try and create, it's still there, this kind of pastoral community that was supposed to have a mix of high and low income housing that was so poorly planned and like not great for anyone or the environment because he doesn't even put his own toothpaste on his toothbrush. Like there's only so much that you can do
Right.
when you just don't really understand how actual people live.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, he lives in a different world, but this is very interesting. This is an interesting perspective. So we'll have to keep watching that, and everyone go and subscribe to Meredith's Substack, Pulling Threads. I have you here today, and there's so much going on. And we were texting about this before you came on, and I am obsessed with all of the fallout for Olivia Nuzzi and American Canto. And so first, like, I want to first of all just get your, and if you don't know, we'll like really quickly bring you guys up to speed. American Canto is the book by a journalist, Olivia Nuzzi, who used to be, was she at the, now I'm blanking. I think she was at New York Magazine. And then she was profiling RFK Jr. She had a relationship with RFK Jr., whether it was physical or just a digital get down, if you will. We do not know.
Wow.
Yeah. But I know, deep cut. But Gen Z won't understand that one, but it came out. She lost her job. Journalistic ethics were, blurred, etc. Now she's at Vanity Fair, and now she has published this book, American Canto. And she's, of course, like anybody who's just published a book, as they should be, she's on her press tour, and it's getting a lot of mixed reactions. And so I want to hear sort of from you, what was your pre-RFK Jr.? Did you even know about Olivia Nuzzi?
I knew about her because I had read some of her profiles, which did have this kind of self-deprecating, dry sense of humor, almost this kind of like Veep, energy. And
Yeah.
they were good. I mean, I definitely enjoyed them. Um, but yeah, once the RFK of it all happened, I really, started to pay attention and understand something more was going on here when all the fallout happened and when we started hearing about text messages and all of this other business, and then her ex-fiance, and that's a mess.
Yeah, I really I didn't know her from her profiles. Like, I probably don't read enough. That's just a blanket statement. But then when this all came out, I am a little obsessed with how obsessed women get with RFK Jr., and that's been something that I've talked about quite a bit.
What is his riz?
I don't
Like,
know. I mean, I think a lot of women do love a broken man, and they also are attracted to fame and
and
power.
The Kennedy of it all.
Yeah. But and I will say, I was looking at photos of him when he married Cheryl Hines. And granted, it was over 10 years ago, so people are going to look different, but he looks very different now than he did 10 years ago. 10 years ago, he looked like a Kennedy. Now he looks like, a man who wears jeans to Gold's Gym in Venice Beach.
Which, yeah, I mean, allegedly, according to her book, a man who might be on drugs, according to allegations in her book about what he told her.
Right. And I think the other thing here is that he's famously sober. So that's I mean, here's the thing. I just expect that everybody's on drugs. I'm not on drugs, but I just think everybody's on drugs.
I assume that as well. I'd like to assume that the Health and Human Services director who is putting out misinformation about vaccines is hopefully not also on drugs.
Yeah, the way that I feel about it is somebody like that is so unhinged that they're no, it's totally fine that I'm on ludes. Yeah, I went Quaaludes with it.
Wow, you said let's go back to the 70s. Let's go to a key party with this. Only current references on this hot moment. There we go.
That's how uncool I am. I don't even know what the kids are doing. And you can't do coke anymore. Best they can offer now is ketamine. Yeah, just about. Honestly, for so long, I thought ketamine had something to do with cat litter.
That goes back to not reading enough, I think.
You're probably right. and then it was the Matthew Perry of it all. But I will say I have been watching this book tour quite intensely, and I want to play this clip. Olivia went on the Bulwark yesterday with Tim Miller. Tim, feel free to answer my DM. I know it's 2 months old, but I'm still down to chat. But she went on the Bulwark, and Tim Miller interviewed her, and I am obsessed with this clip.
It's everything.
So it's a 3-minute video. I do think we need to watch the whole thing. I'm sorry, but we do. Our producers in the chat letting us know it's a 3-minute video. I'm yeah, because the end is chef's kiss. So let's play this video of Tim Miller from the Bulwark talking to Olivia Nuzzi about not so much the book, but I think the fallout. And I think one of the things is if you knew RFK was on drugs, which she did, which she's claiming she did, why didn't you say anything during his confirmation hearings? With all the damage that he's doing now. Let's roll the tape.
Trashing you. Mm-hmm. He's being nominated to be HHS secretary. His reign, I think, as you said in the newsletter today, you agree with, has not been good. You had information that you could have shared. Look, Matt Gaetz got denied. It's possible. RFK wasn't even a Republican. It's possible that these senators could have not, confirmed him, and you didn't share anything about him. Why? Like, why? Did you still love him, or like, was it just?
I don't know how to responsibly handle this on camera with you here. I'm writing in that scene that you're talking about how I felt privately, about my private reaction, how I felt privately. Right.
But you had you'd acted to help him. Like, you admit in the book, you'd acted to help him over the course of the campaign. And so, like, once you realized that he was screwing you over, you didn't take any counteraction. You just let him, right, walk over you.
You're reading about it now. I lost my job.
He's in there and he's doing a lot of bad stuff. Like, don't you look at that and think, like, do you look at that? I guess when you're saying that you have the distance now that have clarity, like, do you see clearly what he's doing now?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's what was your phrasing? It hasn't been good. I agree with that. I think that's the correct assessment. But you're sort of, I don't really know what to do with the question that you're asking me, because it's making a lot of assumptions. It's not making assumptions.
It's just like, you said you helped him, right, during the campaign. And
I write about it. I write about what I did wrong. Yeah.
And it's like, once you've done that, like, you didn't, like, you ceased to have become like a journalistic actor, and like, you're.
Well, I lost my job, right? I was fired. Right. I was fired, and I was in hiding, and I was afraid.
Scared? Were you scared? Yeah.
I was terrified.
Of what?
I write in the book about, I was terrified of the man I did not marry. And I was very worried about people knowing where I was. And
I'm sorry.
Pause this? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can pause it.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, first initial reactions, Meredith Constant.
Tim Miller was not prepared for a crying woman on his podcast. Wow, we pivoted hard. I am impressed by how she artfully dodges questions, because she, throughout this interview, she is having this conversation about, well, now she's releasing this info. Now she's putting it out there. And that this book is like a spiritual journey or something that I do not understand. But the questions that he's asking is, okay, you realize you did things wrong. Why didn't, in the moment when you knew things about RFK, when all of this was going down, why didn't you do something? Because when she says, yeah, it's safe to say his reign has not been great. We're talking cuts to the NIH. We're talking U.S. aid has been totally demolished. I mean, children are dying. People are dying, Kim, because of what he has done as HJS secretary. And you had an opportunity to potentially put forth information, but you saved it for a book. So, like, spare me the altruism of this book. Yeah. I got thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with you on all of that. And, I think one of the things that comes up for me in all this is, you're like, okay, let's just do timeline for a second. If you're deep in this affair with him and, you are in a bad relationship and you are, maybe it's emotionally abusive or whatever, I don't know. But if you're in this bad relationship and you start having some type of relationship with somebody outside of the relationship, and now you're kind of like hypnotized in a fog, not thinking clearly, that I get. Okay. But by the time he goes to be confirmed, you are well past that. So like that, at that point, it's like, snap out of it. And now you kind of, I feel like you want us to be like this is your redemption time. But like, can you imagine if, like, I don't know, less than a year ago, you came out and said, hey guys, he's on drugs. Instead, you saved it for the book because I think you care more about the book than you care about, like, I don't know, the cancellation of World AIDS Day by the White House. And like, don't get me wrong, that's fine. Like, it's not okay in me and in my conscience, but if that's who you are, okay, now we fucking know.
And I think that's part of the problem with
Mhm.
the argument here and what is not being said is
Right.
that, and she does mention, actually, I didn't know this near the beginning of that interview, that her boss at the time, they basically said, do you want to write your way through this, with the magazine, and she
Right.
decided not to do that. So then she writes this book, which is not a tell-all, which I'm sitting here now thinking, kind of critically, oh, that's because eventually we're going to get a tell-all. This is just like the first book that we're going to do. So it's
Right.
really hard to look at this and not say, just, you saved things for the book. And what does that say about ethics and about capitalism and journalism colliding? What does that speak to?
Also, too, it's like, she's like, well, I lost my job. And it's like, yeah, you did. Because, you broke a rule and that's unfortunate, but you seem to be doing okay now. Like, it's not like, I think I noticed she did this post yesterday and I'm a huge Monica Lewinsky fan, but she keeps bringing up Monica Lewinsky's name.
Yep.
She was like, Monica Lewinsky's reached out to me 3 times. And I'm like, you're evoking her name because you are hoping that you can catch on to some of that feeling that people feel to Monica, that she was, which she was exploited and, deeply shamed and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that isn't happening to some degree to Olivia, but like, Olivia, this is very different. You are not a 22-year-old intern who was in the White House who, had a power dynamic relationship with somebody that you are not Monica Lewinsky, girl. Like, fucking, like, I would tone it down a notch, but I think that's what she is hoping to capture. I want to just end our little time with Olivia on this. And I don't know if you heard this line. I know you were listening to the full podcast earlier today, so was I. But she said, I'm always trying to write to the smartest person in the room.
I was thinking about that.
And I was like, that is a great way for her to take any time, another blonde woman, me, criticizes her. She can go, well, you just don't get it. I'm writing to the smartest person in the room, and you're not the smartest person in the room. I'm writing to the most open-minded, the most nuanced, the most whatever. Oh, like, shut the fuck up.
Which you're also like not really supposed to be writing to the smartest person. I mean, that's you're supposed to be writing to a broad audience, especially if you want to, I don't know, sell a book.
Right.
But if you're also saying that this book is full of the information that you feel like you can now share, why wouldn't you want that to be so accessible to everyone? That was
Right.
a weird. I just want to know who is advising this press rollout for this book. It's been interesting.
Well, I'll say this: people are talking.
I mean, they are. It's not great. I saw a subject line. I think was it New Yorker? Was it New York Magazine? But it was it was basically how she's like trying to do a cosplay of Joan Didion, which, ouch.
Yeah, that's a little ouch. Well, let's, speaking of cosplaying, let's shift gears a little bit to another blonde and talk a little bit about Mel Robbins. So
I have a question before you start.
yes.
I know I'm wearing glasses, but can I still be, an expert on media? Is that okay?
Well, like, here's the thing.
I'm just kidding.
They're not dark rimmed glasses.
That's fair. They are lighter.
They're not the thick rimmed glasses. And I also think being an expert on media is very different than being an expert on complex family dynamics. I think you obviously, I'm not saying that people have to, but you have a bachelor's degree in that. You have a,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's fair.
You have credentials in that. And so when I think of who, there are certain jobs that you really do sort of need the credentials and you need the practice and you need the whatever. But Mel Robbins, if people haven't seen it, put out this article, an op-ed in the New York Times right around Thanksgiving, where she teamed up with some academic from Cornell who probably runs some project that's funded. He runs some project called like the Cornell Legacy Fund, which is probably funded by like some, old endowment in 1965. I'm just riffing here, you guys, so don't quote me on this. But basically I would say the main point of the article was life is too short to fight with your family, and not in the sense that you should have boundaries, but in the sense that you should just say, hey, like if dad's a racist and upsetting you and not, helping you, and if your parents, like one of the things that I found to be so telling was one of the things they said was, if you want your parents to move into like an assisted living house and assisted living and sell their house, but they don't want to, don't push it, even if you end up suffering the consequences. Thoughts?
Have you ever tried to move someone into assisted living or dealt with the trauma that is your loved ones falling or hurting themselves or not being able to feed themselves enough because they weren't the thing that gets me about this article is it is written to younger people in like a patronizing way without considering maybe the role that presumably older parents or family members play in the no contact. And I have to tell you, the part where I screamed, absolutely screamed, was where they bring up research about solutions. And they showed that on average, people over 65 report being happier than young adults. They report more satisfaction with their social networks and higher levels of positive emotions. I don't know. Is there like some sort of economic argument that might participate to that? Like, is there anything about boomers pulling up the ladder and, younger generations living through multiple economic collapses and, war? And I don't know, is there maybe anything else that could participate to a lack of satisfaction with life that actually has to do with the way boomers have run this country? No offense, not all boomers, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this doesn't exist in a bubble. And, I think that it was very aptly timed to come out around Thanksgiving, because I'm wondering what the economic impact is of people distancing themselves from their family. And I am convinced that Mel Robbins is like, I think she's a plant for
Big turkey.
Big turkey.
Jenny-O.
I think Mel Robbins is an industry plant. I'm not kidding, because it's like, when people like kind of like are living a little more detached from these family members, what are the consequences on travel? What are the consequences on everything? And like, I'm not like there are people who were very close to me in my life. They're no longer they no longer live on this planet. But they were no contact with people. And I have deep respect for that. I think it's like not something that people come to easy. And so I think like this idea that like being no contact, the article makes it seem like very flippant, like you just kind of get frustrated with somebody. And someone reached out to me and they were like, so the second that you disagree with anybody in your life, you just like write them off. And I'm like, no, like fucking no, that's not what, like, oftentimes there's like abuse and like, ongoing exploitation and things like that have led people to go no contact. Now, that also does not mean that there isn't a young person out there who's gone no contact that is not like a big part of the problem. Like it can go both ways, but like I think it's often harder to be the person to go no contact than to be the person that's holding on.
Definitely, because as you said, you don't know why people are going no contact. And it can be very difficult if someone in your life is manipulative or has mental health issues that are just not going to be solved, or have a history of just really bad behavior. And that's why this is so disingenuous and so insulting to people who have had to make very difficult decisions to cut people off. It's very much like millennials buy too much avocado toast. They can't afford housing. That's what it feels like. It feels like that kind of perspective, and it just keep it. Also, if she was going to be a plant for Thanksgiving travel, she could have really leaned into go no contact and set up Friendsgiving. And then you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, this could have been worked at a different angle. I think she's pigeonholing herself.
I know, but I feel like Friendsgiving, you're just like the bar is so much lower. You're like, I'll just like, I mean, especially in LA, you're like, oh, it's in Santa Monica. I guess I'll go. Like,
That's fair. I guess it depends on where you are geographically speaking.
and I just want to say, if you invite, like, I don't only just come and hang out with you guys because it's geographically convenient. So please people who invite me to things, please keep inviting me. But like, I also thought there was something really interesting in there because it said, like, imagine that you only have a year left to live and this is your last Thanksgiving. Do you really want to spend it fighting with your father about politics? And I was like, that's like a really fucked up way to live life. Like,
What?
like, that is just fucked. And that's not a fair way to live life. And I think that it's like, it's this sort of like rugged individualism that is really making a comeback of like suffering no matter what. And it's like, you know what? Most of us have more than a year to live. Like most of these people that I'm talking to who are no contact, like so don't fucking live your, like, I'm not a fan of the like live every day like it's your last day. I'm like, you know what?
That's stressful. I'm a
wanna
Capricorn.
right? Like, fuck that. I'm not living every day like it's my last day. I want to live some days that are like, just, I go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. That's the holy grail. That's basically, that's your last rites. That's basically like being administered your last rites or whatever. Dunkin' Donuts.
Vienna's throwing in the chat one of these quotes. Your sister might be judgmental, but you love her holiday themed nails. This is like,
I can see that on her Instagram.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She's been on her nail dipping journey for years now. She's still shilling Jamberry or whatever. I can see that online. I don't have to be sucked into her MLM at the Thanksgiving table as she passes the mashed potatoes. You know what I mean?
Also, like, I can just tell you right now that I hate your holiday themed nails.
Oh, that is a hot take. I don't even know what to say to that.
You disagree?
I think there's a way to do it tastefully. Like, I do appreciate if you're going to go all out with the nail art and it's going to be really cool. Like, there's like Grinch paintings on your nails. Like, I like watching the TikTok videos of impressive nail art for the holidays. But in general, you're not going to see me with a sparkly red nail, you know?
I mean, I get it. I think some people can pull it off. I think it's just like,
It depends.
like, like when people have like, I don't know, like I would be at the nail salon and I see people like basically like yelling at them about the nail art. I'm like, fucking chill out. Like,
Okay. Yeah. That's unnecessary.
yeah. Well, you know, speaking of holidays, let's talk a little bit about my girl, Kim Kardashian, who has just decorated for the holidays. We have some pictures of it and Kim's getting a lot of shit for this. And I have a really hot take. So people are like saying that like it's such a waste, it's so ugly, it's like blah blah blah. And first I want to know like what you think of this.
Okay, so I don't find it super offensive, the trees, and I love that they're thematic. I love that the warehouse that she lives in, the empty IKEA warehouse, looks great. From a mother perspective, I'm just like, where are the children sitting? And there's one picture where there are trees in the kitchen blocking access to the island and sink. And I'm just a little confused about how one lives in this house. I don't like being jump scared. I would have kids jumping out from behind trees to scare me all the time. And I'm just not looking for that in my life. So if it works for you, fine. But I'm a one tree household.
You know, North is jumping out.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
there's definitely going to be like TikTok, YouTube videos of the kids scaring Kim.
Yeah. And I'm with you. I agree. I'm like, I don't know how much living they do in that house, you know?
I'm just confused about the layout. I would like a house tour and I would like to know, is it one tree going to have the presents or is it going to be spread out? Is each person getting their own tree? I mean, there's a lot of Kardashians at this point. So there could be a tree for every Kardashian at this point.
You know, and here's the thing, like people are like, this is so wasteful. I'm like, I feel like there's other things we can bother Kim with. Like this doesn't like, I mean,
are they real or artificial trees?
I think they're real, which feels like a watering nightmare. But I am like, I just feel like there's other things we can roast Kim for. Like, I don't think they're that ugly. People were like, it looks like, it looks so bleak. I'm like, I don't know, it looks that bleak. I mean, it's definitely her aesthetic, which is a lot of minimalism, which is like rooted in white supremacy. And we can talk about that another time. But like, I don't I don't think they're that bad. And you know me, if Kim Kardashian has no haters, I'm dead. And it was probably Kris Jenner.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I really wish she had hung one of those new merkinis or whatever, those thongs with bushes. You can pick your different kind of bush
Yeah.
and hung it on the tree and use those and repurpose them
Yeah.
as
I mean,
ornaments.
I think
I think that could have looked good.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like here's the thing about Kim, you guys. Like, and this is just always so important to remember when we think about Kim, is like everything is to drive back to the product. So she's got a huge Skims holiday campaign right now. She needs people to buy Skims. So like she needs to do things that are going to go a little viral and get people talking. And it's like the hype has died down from the Bush thong. So what's next,
Gotta
right?
bring it back.
Like she needs another clickbaity moment. So when she puts up that video, 90% of the time, I would say everything that Kim Kardashian does is very strategic to uplift the brand. Does that mean that like any celebrity, there's ever been like a slip up or something that, you know, comes across badly or wasn't whatever? Yeah, 1,000%. But like, this was not one of those. Like,
Do you mean like when Blake Lively for her alcohol line or whatever did something based on Kate Middleton being missing, or didn't she do something around that? It was they had to apologize because it was a misstep.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's like Blake is not as savvy as Kim. Kim is really savvy and really strategic. And the thing that a lot of people I think don't realize, and you and I know this, but like one of the things I'm fascinated by is like there's all these different like softwares and stuff where you can sort of like look at how a story is trending and see how you should respond to it. That's the reason why, like, you guys, Kim did speak out on ICE, but it was back in June and it was very brief and it was very like, there's got to be a better way. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be a better way. And that's because they probably watch this data and they're like, actually, you do need to weigh in. But how do we have you weigh in a way that feels like very apolitical
and then pivots? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I think that to me is one of the things that's the most fascinating with
Can I tell you what I would have done if I was Kim Kardashian's marketer? And this is free marketing advice that you shouldn't take.
What? Tell me everything.
So I would have gone with a theme, and I'm still thinking about these Bush thongs. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have done a whole theme, especially when the White House was releasing like their Christmas decorations and decor, holiday decor. She should have done something akin to, I'd like to take it back to the Bush administration. And then she could have had the trees with all the little thongs on them. And she could have promoted that it was like 20% off for Skims. This could have been brilliant. How funny would that have been if she made a Bush era administration joke?
Okay. Yes. Hilarious. Obsessed with it. Love with it. But then it becomes like she's too political and she's trying to stay away from the politics. They'll be like, oh, great. Kim Kardashian, Iraq war mastermind.
Yeah,
I mean,
but then she does something Obama related and just throws people through a loop. Do you know what I mean? Or she has like Mendami on her IG or does something totally different and it just really throws people. Think of all the news cycles you could get out of that.
The Kardashians don't exist without 9/11. And
wait, what?
Hear me out.
Oh, okay.
Then I finally have it figured out. But like basically there's just so many things in this world that like would not exist without 9/11. And I think reality television is one of them.
Interesting.
I know it existed before 9/11, but the rise of reality television and escapism changing. And I mean, like, I think the Bush era really, like, you look at the strikes, the writers' strikes and the economy and and the way we pivoted to like more conservative. And I just don't think that the Kardashians exist. And that's why like a sex tape with Ray J felt like such a big deal. We wouldn't have Twilight without 9/11 either.
Wait,
yeah, exactly.
What?
Vienna, please drop in the chat more of why we wouldn't have Twilight. Feel free to jump on stage if you need to. Like, I think it's important.
There is so much breaking cultural news for me right now that I did not realize.
9/11 attacks led Gerard Way to form My Chemical Romance, whose music inspired Twilight. Author Stephanie Miller in Twilight then inspired 50 Shades of Grey. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I mean, did you know that Olivia Nuzzi's dad was a custodian in the World Trade Center on 9/11?
No.
I'm telling you.
We just brought it all back. Where was Mel Robbins?
Is it wrong to ask questions? Like,
listen, you're not. I mean, these are fine conspiracies to have. These are healthy ones, I would say.
I just think there's so many things that, like, I've always my thing has always been the reality show Sunset Tan could only have existed during the Bush administration.
How did I miss that one?
Oh my God. Sunset Tan is like one of my favorite reality shows. It was a reality show on E, kind of like 2005, 2006.
Ooh, good
It was
era.
when I was definitely in my tanning era. Like I used to go tanning a lot then. And so it felt, that felt like my culture. But basically it was like 3 tanning salons in LA, and it was about the employees who worked there and like the 2 guys who looked like who are those like fucking circus guys?
Oh, with the tigers?
Yeah, they looked like the Siegfried and Roy.
Oh, there we go.
Hannah can get a photo of these guys up for me.
Oh my gosh, I can see it. I can see
Sunset Tan.
The beef jerky colored skin right now.
We're gonna see if we can pull up a photo because Vienna's so good at
That's iconic.
this. But the show was just like the lives of the people working at the tanning salon, and then occasionally
Oh, stop.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you remember that hair where they would gel the hair forward? Ashley Simpson's ex-boyfriend did that a lot.
Ryan Cabrera.
There we go.
Ryan Cabrera coded. Okay, so I'm obsessed with the guys from Sunset Tan to this day because of the 2 that I just showed you, those were
they're alive.
They're alive, baby. I mean, listen, ketamine is a hell of a drug, but
allegedly.
Thank you, Meredith. But the one on the right is now a real estate agent, which like totally tracks in LA, right? Like that's
of course, yeah.
And then the one on the left, now, oh my God, look at them.
Okay, you have to warn me before these pop up. This is terrifying.
It's a jump scare. But the one so in this one, the one on the left is the real estate agent. The one on the right owns a med spa. And I love the med spa because like one of the things is they're like, we help with like sunspots and premature aging.
That's amazing.
He went from selling the drug to running the rehab.
I mean, it's kind of great business. It reminds me of when you go on to any med spa and it says filler and then filler removal, like, it has both options, just because they want to cover all bases for wherever you're at and your feelings about your face.
Create the problem, sell the solution. That's what
yep.
That's almost what Olivia Nuzzi's doing.
Yeah, we certainly are. Wow. But it's a spiritual journey, this book.
Listen, I can go to Catholic Mass twice a year and say I'm on a spiritual journey. So fuck
she's
that.
found God. She prayed that RFK Jr. would not be, would not get the nomination. So what more can we expect?
What seriously? So the last thing I want to talk to you about is it's a big day for music likers. It is the day that Spotify Wrapped comes out. So your Spotify Wrapped.
Snap. This might be embarrassing this year. I mean, every year has the potential to be embarrassing.
So I was thinking about Spotify Wrapped in general and how people like go nuts and like they post all their shit. And I was like, Spotify Wrapped is such a great example of the fact that like we have this like rugged individualism where we want our music tastes to be seen as our own. And then yet at the same time, we need to feel like we are part of a community. So we want to see the shared, like we want to feel like, oh, I also listened to Sabrina Carpenter this year. And so, and then I had this thought of like, maybe I do need a real job. Because this is like a weird fucking thing to be thinking about, Meredith.
Someone needs to think about it, though. There needs to be people to think about it.
But I do.
Yeah, I'm not ready for my year.
You're not ready for your year? Okay.
No, I'm scrolling as we talk just because I want to see if anything's very embarrassing that I can potentially share on air.
One of my very embarrassing things is, and you know what? Actually, fuck that. I'm not going to call this embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay. The average age of like what like if you had to predict my age based on my listening, is 79.
My top genre was yacht rock.
Oh, I love that. A lot of Hall &
Age is
Oates.
just a number. Hold on, don't take this personally. How old do you think I am?
56.
I'm a spry 71.
You are good for me.
We're basically
Vienna
the Golden Girls, except they were in their 40s or something.
Oh my God, Vienna was 24. Our producer Vienna was 24. That's
Okay,
like,
amazing.
That's so fucking cool.
That makes you cool. The number of Spring Awakening songs I had just kind of lets you know of the year I had. Wow.
Okay, my number one artist of the year was Mariah Carey, which, you know what? I think that holds the test of time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good one. I had a mix. I had K-pop Demon Hunters because of my children. I hate it when they ruin my Spotify Wrapped. West End Girl was up there though, because I played that thing a lot. That is my favorite.
Yes.
Oh, the narrative, the tennis into Who's Madeline is the best.
Love a little Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah, Lei Fei is my number one artist for the year.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh my gosh, Lei Fei? She's the Icelandic Chinese like jazz pop singer. You've definitely heard a song of hers in Anthropology. I'm telling you. You have.
Girl, when do you think I'm in an Anthropology?
Anytime over the last 5 years.
Okay, all right. And that's like no shade to Anthropology. It's just like, listen.
No, I get it. No one's going in store.
I'm in Abercrombie, or I'm in the sale rack of Nordstrom rack, which is always
but also Abercrombie clothing has gotten so good. It's grown up with us, and I do appreciate that. I'm wearing they actually brought back their shelf bra, like with the tank top, which thank you, finally, and it actually works. That's all I'm asking for in life.
Listen, when I would have on I used to wear a shelf bra to the gym.
Okay, well, that's a choice. Okay, I'm wearing it to podcasting. I'm not bouncing that much.
Okay. I bought Adidas Snap track pants the other day, and let me tell you, I look like I'm auditioning for a 1998 Britney Spears video. I look fucking great in those Snap pants.
I need a picture of those.
Oh,
that sounds great.
They look so good. You pair them with like I wore them the other day with like a Free People's Shelf tank.
You're basically a Backstreet Boy.
Dude, you know what? Fuck the haters. I still got it. But you know who still has it? Mariah Carey. I want to play this clip of Mariah Carey. She's thanking me for my Spotify my Spotify listening hours.
Oh, you got a personal note.
I'm obsessed with this video, and I think you will be too. Vienna has the clip for us.
To all my fans who listened to my music on Spotify this year, 2025 was an amazing year for me. I put out my new album, Here for It All. And it's been so incredible to see you guys picking different favorites. And it's also pretty incredible to see the new peaks on like songs like My All and Obsessed. It makes me happy. I'll see you at Christmas. Thank you.
I'm obsessed with that video. If you had to explain that video in one word, what would you say?
Someone had a gun to her head and told her, you have to get this done today. We are already late with this 2025 thing that we need to do. She's like, yeah, it's been a great year, hasn't it, guys? And you're like, oh, wow, you are the most beautiful kind of Delulu. It has been a good year for you, though, and I'm happy for you. And My All is a bop. My first CD was Mariah Carey's, was it Daydreams? It was gold. It had fantasy on it.
Okay.
I don't remember which one that is.
I think it might have been Daydream. It had fantasy on it, and it had yeah, I'm thinking she wrote My All about Derek Jeter, who is the second person that he ever had sex with.
Really? I knew she was with Derek Jeter because I grew up, outside of New York City, but I did not know that. I got to go back and listen. She wants one more night. Oh, Butterfly. That was my ballet, 3rd or 4th grade. Our performance was to Butterfly, just not to brag.
I wish we had that tape.
I'm glad we don't.
Sometimes my mom would tell me things that like I probably like didn't fully understand or know. And I remember one like her looking at a magazine once and like basically like looking at the photos and like sort of half reading it to me. And she was like, it was a thing about Mariah Carey and Tommy Mottola getting a divorce. And for the uneducated, Mariah Carey at like 19 gets signed with Columbia, and she immediately has a relationship with Tommy Mottola, who is, I think, like the head of Columbia Records at that time, the CEO, whatever. Totally exploits her. Like, you know, there's a huge age gap. She's like from Staten Island. She's, you know, or maybe Long Island, but she's, you know, she's been very sheltered her whole life. And then all of a sudden she's thrown into this world and he's like a dick. Okay. So my mom is like looking at this article about them getting a divorce, and she just goes to me, and I have no idea what this means. She goes, well, you know, she was a virgin when she married him. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Whoa, Mom.
like what does that mean? But yeah, I think that the second person she was ever intimate with was Derek Jeter, which is not a surprise that you would get a my all coming out from that. Like, that's, you know,
Listen, that is a swing. You're batting 1,000 when you go that way. That's the end of my baseball puns
for this episode. But yeah, I think, I mean, how do you feel? Cringe or cool when people post their Spotify Wrapped?
I'm always personally fascinated to see, because I think music exposes so much about you, about what you listen to, like what your inner monologue is, what you've been going through in a year. And sometimes I don't need that from Spotify. Like the year, you know, I don't need that the year I got divorced, maybe just to see what I was playing a lot. But I am fascinated to see some of the stats. I don't need to see your whole Spotify Wrap, but I do enjoy seeing what your year was like and how embarrassing it was, so that we have the collective experience of embarrassment together.
You know what? I love that. Spotify Wrapped is a third space.
Yes, it is. Okay. So if you are a parent that had K-pop Demon Hunters on your thing one too many times, I see you. I see you.
Meredith, where can our friends see you?
Oh my gosh. You can catch me over on my Substack, which is Pulling Threads, which you mentioned. I'm also over on Instagram and TikTok at Meredith Constant. You can also get more pop culture and more royal focused news, but we keep it fun with my co-host Amanda Matta. And that is the podcast Off With Our Headlines. And we drop Wednesdays and Fridays.
Damn, you're at 2 a week?
We moved up. We do a Friday news dump that is super quick, just going through some of the banana stories that we missed, because royals be doing things and they just do not respect our schedule.
Are you doing anything live?
We haven't done anything live yet. Amanda needs to finish her book, her manuscript, and then in 2026 we could look at that. Because like I'm waiting for her to have her baby, basically. Her book.
The lives are so fun. Like doing this live is really fun. Everybody go follow my friend Meredith Constant. As always, it's good to be with you. We'll be back. We are going to be back on Friday for the moment at 8 a.m. PST, 11 EST, and we have a fabulous couple of people coming in. We have Senator Mark Warner from Virginia, who will be joining us. And then we have the hilarious, the very talented Sarah Schaefer, comedian, writer, all that good stuff, joining us as our guest co-host.
Incredible. What a lineup. I love that I come before Mark Warner this week. What a life.
Well, Meredith, we'll have to have you back. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And everybody, have a great day. And as always, take care of yourselves and each other.
Yep. Go look at your Spotify Wrapped. Share it with me.